Hello world and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm Nikki Renee and today is a really big, huge, you might say, bookish haul. Super quick first side note, I have two side notes actually. First of all, if you hear noises, that would be Junie, because she has no regard for filming and sound. Hopefully you can't hear that. And second of all, some of the books in this haul, because this haul does include books, bookish merch, bags, mail, like there's a lot, but some of the books that are specifically going to be in this have already been shown on my TikTok. The problem is I don't remember which ones exactly were and weren't, because I showed some of them from the same haul that I did, but I didn't show all of them. So I'm here today to just do a huge haul of things I got for Christmas, things I've gotten so far this year, some things that I got in November of last year, just putting it all together. I will put in chapters if you're here for something specific. For reference, right now, Junie is literally right here. Right here. This is my dog. Come here. Oh, I did the baby. Oh, I did the baby. So, I'm going to do this in a way that might not seem like it makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. So I'm going to start with the books, and then do bookish things, and then do mail. So the first book is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. It does have fluorescent orange edges. The Bennett family has a secret. They're not just a family, they're a pack. Wolfsong is Ox Matheson's story. Next is Nettle and Bone by Kingfisher. This isn't the kind of fairy tale where the princess marries a prince. It's the one where she kills him. Interesting. It's a short. It's not even 300 pages, so that's so... Next is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna. I'm so sorry if I say any of these names wrong. A warm and uplifting novel about an isolated witch whose opportunity to embrace a quirky new family and a new love changes the course of her life. Okay. Next is Starling House by Alix Harrow, which has purple edges. I dream sometimes about a house I've never seen. Opal is a lot of things: orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic, and part-time cashier. But above all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother, Jasper. One that gets them out of Eden, Kentucky, a town remarkable for only two things: bad luck and E. Starling, the reclusive 19th century author of The Underland, who disappeared more than 100 years ago. All she left behind were dark rumors and her home. Everyone agrees that it's best to ignore the uncanny mansion and its misanthropic heir, Arthur. Almost everyone, anyway. Can you not? Can you not? I should be scared, but in the dream, I don't hesitate. Opal has been obsessed with the Underland since she was a child. When she gets the chance to step inside Starling House and make some extra cash for her brother's escape fund, she can't resist. But sinister forces are digging deeper into the buried secrets of Starling House, and Arthur's own nightmares have become far too real. As Eden itself seems to be drowning in its own ghosts, Opal realizes that she must finally have found a reason to stick around. In my dream, I'm home, and now she'll have to fight. Welcome to Starling House. Enter if you dare. There's a chance that I should have read this separately, but I feel like if that's the way that they're going to have it on there, that's how it's going to be. Next is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. Lights, camera, lies. 18-year-old Belle has lived her whole life in the shadow of her mom's mysterious disappearance. 16 years ago, Rachel Price vanished, and young Belle was the only witness, but she has no memory of it. Rachel is gone, long presumed dead, and Belle wishes everyone would just move on. But the case is dragged up from the past when the Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end, for life to go back to normal. And then the impossible happens. Rachel Price reappears, and life will never be normal again. Rachel has an unbelievable story about what happened to her. Unbelievable because Belle isn't sure it's real. If Rachel is lying, then where has she been all this time? And could she be dangerous? With the cameras still rolling, Belle must uncover the truth about her mother and find out why Rachel Price really came back from the dead. Death at Mourning House by Maureen Johnson. I often think back to that first meeting with Ricky. Things at Mourning House, I could already tell, were going to be complicated. I was so innocent then to think that complicated would cover the situation I had gotten myself into. I tell myself that the dominoes were already set up before I got there. They only needed that little push to set them all going on their terrible track. But there I was, the unknowing, necessary finger, flicking the first one into motion. The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. The end papers are marble. That's wild. I've never seen that before. Once there were 4 worlds, nestled like pages in a book, each pulsing with fantastical power and connected by a single city, London. After a desperate attempt to prevent corruption and ruin in the 4 Londons, there are only 3. Grey London, thriving but barely able to remember its magical heritage. Red London, ruled lately by the Marish family, flourishing and powerful. And White London, left to brutality and decay. Now the worlds are going to collide anew, brought to a dangerous precipice by the discoveries of 3 remarkable magicians. There's Casika, the child queen of White London, who has nourished her city on blood and dreams, and whose growing devotion to both is leading her down a dangerous path. Then there's Delilah Bard, born a thief in Grey London, who's crossed the worlds to become a legend far from there. She's an infamous magician, a devious heroine, and a risk-taking rogue, all rolled into one unforgettable package. Having disappeared to seek a new adventure, an old favorite now calls Lila back to a dangerous port, to join some old friends who need more help than they even realize. The last there is Tess, a young runaway with an unusual and powerful ability, hiding out in Red London while trying to stay out of the limelight. Tess is the only one who can keep all the worlds from unraveling if she manages to stay alive first. So that's the little pile. Now, we'll start with the totes. The first is most of a series. It's not an entire series, but it is the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. His wife taken, his people enslaved. Driven by a longing for justice and the memory of lost love, Darrow would stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if he must become one of them to do so. Next is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. If you don't know what Coraline is about, where have you been? I'm so excited for this. This is probably going to be the start of a new series for me that I'm going to be calling Read and Repeat, where I read the book and watch the adaptation. But if you don't know, Coraline is about a girl named Coraline whose parents move her into a new house. And within that house, there is a little door that takes her to some other dimension, place, or something, where she meets people called the Other Mother and the Other Father, which at first seem amazing and like all that she's ever wanted in life, and very soon prove to not be quite so amazing. Next is A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This is adorable. It's a hardcover and it's this big. It's so cute. It is the first in a series called A Monk and Robot, and it's just so cute. It seems so wholesome. It's been centuries since the robots of Panga gained self-awareness and laid down their tools. Centuries since they wandered, en masse, into the wilderness, never to be seen again. Centuries since they faded into myth and urban legend. One day, the life of a tea monk is upended by the arrival of a robot, there to honor the old promise of checking in. The robot has one question: what do people need? But the answer to that question depends on who you ask and how. They're going to need to ask it a lot. Next is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I kind of love the cover of this. It's so cute. It looks like a library from Europe that people want to get married in. Two strangers find themselves connected by a vast and mysterious library containing many wonders and still more secrets, and this powerfully moving series opener from the internationally best-selling author of Red Sister and Prince of Thorns. These next 4 books are part of a series, and full disclosure, I have read the first 2, and I have done a reading vlog. It was so fun, and I really, really, really liked these books, and I'm hoping to do a reading vlog of the second 2. I do like to include spoilers. Personally, I do like spoilers. I don't like surprises. But that being said, the books are The Tales of Ouranos. Like I said, I have read the first 2 books, which are Trial of the Sun King and Rule of the Aurora King, and loved them. I think I gave this 4 stars and this 5, which gives me high hopes for the rest of the series. 10 women, a deadly contest. Only one can win the Sun King's heart. And that's all I'm going to give you, because, like I said, I read them, and I have a video coming out for that. The last thing I will say, it was actually really fun that I was reading them when I was reading them, because I started, and like 2 days later, the 4th and final book came out. So it was like perfect. Next is American Gods by Neil Gaiman, which, yes, this is also the guy who wrote Coraline. I don't know anything about this book. I'm going to be reading it in, I think it's April, for class. So I might do some sort of video for that. I don't know. I do know that there is a Starz original series, but it has been canceled after a few seasons, I think, because there are some allegations going around about Neil Gaiman. Next is a book that I'm very excited about. You will have, well, you might not have seen the video that came out before this, which was a holiday reading vlog, holiday winter reading vlog, and I read 4 books that were winter Christmas-esque, and I said that I wanted to continue this sort of seasonal vlogging situation and start doing a seasonal reading vlog for each season. That being said, the only book that I know of that is explicitly spring-esque is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison, which is the second book for the interconnected series Love Light Farms. A grumpy farmer and a no-nonsense social media influencer have another chance at love in this charming romantic comedy. So if you have any recommendations for books that are very much spring, summer, fall, winter, whatever, they can even be based around a holiday within that season, please let me know. Outside of these, This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. If you don't know, she wrote Shatter Me, and I love the covers of this series. The first one is like gold like this, the second is sort of bronze, and then the last one is my favorite color. It's a light lavender, lilac-ish purple situation, and I love it. To all the world, Eliza is a disposable servant, not the long-lost heir to the ancient Jinn kingdom forced to hide in plain sight. The crown prince, Kamran, has heard the prophecies foretelling the death of his king, but he could never have imagined that the servant girl he can't put out of his mind would one day uproot his kingdom and the world. This Woven Kingdom is a story of clashing empires, forbidden romance, and a long-forgotten queen who must claw her way through darkness to reclaim her throne, rebuild her kingdom, and save her people from the half-lives they've been forced to live. My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna, Levine. This is a whole series, and I think it's so funny. I think I will enjoy it whenever I get to it. I wonder what season it's in. True love is at stake in this charming debut romantic comedy. Cassie Greenberg loves being an artist, but it's a tough way to make a living. On the brink of eviction, she's desperate when she finds a too-good-to-be-true apartment in a beautiful Chicago neighborhood. Cassie knows there has to be a catch. Only someone with a secret to hide would rent out a room for that price. Of course, her new roommate, Frederick J. Fitzwilliam, is far from normal. He sleeps all day, is out at night on business, and talks like he walked out of a Regency romance novel. He also leaves Cassie heart-melting notes around the apartment, cares about her art, and asks about her day. And he doesn't look half bad shirtless on the rare occasions they're both home and awake. But when Cassie finds bags of blood in the fridge that definitely weren't there earlier, Frederick has to come clean. Cassie's sexy new roommate is a vampire, and he has a proposition for her. Say You Swear by Meagan Brandy. I have no words for this other than I cracked as soon as I saw it at one of my local Walmarts because it has been all over my TikTok, actually both accounts, and it's been on my to-read list, and I think I even have it literally saved in my Kindle library because I'm like, no, I'm going to read it. And then I saw it at Walmart, and I really like this cover. Her brother's best friend broke her heart, but what happens when his new teammate wants to put it back together? I think I'm gonna love it, genuinely, and if I don't, I'm going to be so sad. Next is the first 2 books of a series, which I think go like this, but it is the Sparrow Falls series by Cowels, which is Fragile Sanctuary and Delicate Escape. And they have the cutest sprayed edges. They're all this palette of neon bright colors, and they're so cute. The Tempest of Tea by Hafsah Faizal. I think I have a book by you. Is this the same person? It is! This is the same author who wrote We Hunt the Stars. Nope. This is the same author who wrote We Hunt the Flame, which I do have, so that's fun. Why save the world when you can have tea? And you know, that's all I'm giving you, because that's kind of perfect. Oh, look! That's kind of perfect. That's adorable. Next is the Hurricane Wars by Thea Guazon. Guanzon? Yeah? I don't know. I saw this in Barnes, and I loved, obviously, not just the cover, but also the pages. The fates of 2 bitter enemies are swept together in the Hurricane Wars, the spellbinding debut in a fantasy romance trilogy set in a Southeast Asia-inspired world ravaged by storms. Ooh. The second one is out, which is A Monsoon Rising. Always Mine by Laura Pavlov. So this is the spine. It obviously starts very bright and goes dark, but the best part is that while a lot of books that have some sort of situation on the spinal edge of the pages doesn't on the top or bottom, this has a whole cohesive design going from top to bottom, and it's like an extension of the cover. He fights fires for a living, but the flames building between us may be too big to extinguish. Nico West is the most beautiful man I've ever laid eyes on. 6 feet 4 inches of broody, chiseled Greek god in a firefighter suit. He's also been my best friend since kindergarten. He always says the only solid thing in his life is our friendship. He's Honey Mountain's favorite player, and I'm what you'd call a relationship girl. But when I find myself single for the first time in more than a decade, I make Nico an offer he can't refuse. Who better to show me what I've been missing? But now that we've crossed that line, I don't know if friendship is enough for me. Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. Which, they're purple. Like, so many of them are purple. 2 sisters, 1 brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an intoxicating romance. This is a trilogy, and all 3 books are out. Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Geisinger. From bestselling author J.T. Geisinger comes a scorchingly hot mafia romance about 2 people bound together by a debt that must be collected no matter the cost. She was the debt he came to collect. Kingmakers by Sophie Lark. This is year 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is every book literally just titled Yearmakers and then whatever year it is? Or Kingmakers and then whatever year it is? Because that might piss me off enough to just not read it, because what do you mean there are no titles? Are you kidding? It's just by the years. Anyways, this one is blue. Bound by blood, torn by love. In the shadowed halls of kingmakers, a ruthless mafia university, the offspring of the world's most feared families come to master the dark arts of influence and intimidation. Leo, unwaveringly loyal to his childhood friend Anna, follows her into a world where love is a weapon, trust is a casualty, and survival is the only victory that matters. But the greatest danger comes from Dean Yenin, a bratva heir with a vendetta as cold as his heart. Dean plans to destroy Leo and take everything he holds dear, starting with Anna. Can Leo win back his soulmate, or is Anna lost forever? The Scarlet Veil by Shelby Mahurin, which has some of the best edges. It actually follows the whole way, and it looks like a scarlet veil. She lived for the light, he showed her the dark. Exhaling slowly, he stares right back, his black eyes narrowing, as if I'm a puzzle he cannot quite solve. You're doing it again, he says at last. I look away quickly. Doing what? Romanticizing nightmares. North is the Night by Emily Rath. Now, need I say more? Let me just give her back her clothes, because I sort of just violated her. I'm so sorry, I did not ask for consent. Men have long been the heroes of our tales. Show the people what we women can do to fight for those we love. Go north. Find Vainamoinen, if you can. Save Aina. Then return to us. We need you. And then the last book that does not need to be unboxed is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. Similar to North is the Night, this book has a very pretty cover and the best edges I've literally ever seen. It tops everything. It is on the top and the bottom, and it's books. It's books. It's books. And under the dust jacket, we have a lovely design. It does not travel to the back, sadly. And the dust jacket is not reversible, which for most people would probably put it a little bit lower than North is the Night. But for me, these edges are truly all I need in life. Eating my hair. But with that being said, that's the last book that does not need to be unboxed. So, on to the totes. You saw this one. This one is not a new one. This one was my Barnes & Noble membership renewal one from 2023. And this one was my Barnes & Noble membership tote from 2024. This is actually so fun because my brother-in-law picked this one out. And I think this is a new color, if I remember correctly, because I'm pretty sure they have blue and black as well. And what's funny about this is that I have the gray one. My sister, I believe, has the black one, and then my grandfather has the blue one. And then now I have the orange clay and like the gray, and then also something new I've been doing because I really like them is the Valentine's totes, because they are just top notch. And this year they had two, but we only had one in stock at my actual Barnes store. But the other one is literally in the shape of a heart. And this one was the one that I much preferred anyways, which is a design of a book that says From Enemies to Lovers. The first thing I'm going to show you is a magnetic bookmark. It's a magnetic bookmark with my initial. Most of the rest of the stuff is from my sister, but then one thing that isn't is this notebook. It has gilded edges and the binding is very interesting. This is what the binding is like. It's not a continued spine of the hard cover. It's just exposed binding, which is really fun. And now we are getting into the bulk of the things that came from my sister. First are these really cute and fun pens. It's just not going to focus, but they have these fun little emojis that go peace sign, and then a heart, and then a stack of books. I have not taken anything out of their packaging. I waited specifically for this video. This is a bookish printed cup koozie. So this is a Darkly Reader book journal. If you know me, I have my own reading journal, but I think this could be really fun to do also if I felt like it, for maybe like there's a book that I just didn't want to put, like if I read 50 Shades of Grey, maybe I just didn't really want to put it into my reading journal or something. This is a darkly embroidered slate mask, which I used to use these a lot because I have really bad insomnia, so this might come back into rotation. It says Dreaming of Books. A Shadow Singer book tin. I've known that this was in here, and I've been trying to figure out what I could use with it. But if you don't know what a book tin, it's like a metal box that you can put stuff in that's shaped like a book. And then the last thing is the Brutal Birthright series inspired puffy book sleeve, which is so funny because last year for my sister's birthday, which I might fully edit that video because I did film it and post it in February, but last year for her birthday I did get her a book sleeve, and now she has a few because of her subscription. So this is what it is. It's very cushiony. It's definitely the size for a big hardcover. And then the reason that I've done this in the order that I've done this is because also in this bag is some mail. Now, out of everything over here, I don't know what's in each package, but this package, I remember exactly what it is. I've specifically gotten some clothes that I think would match it too, so I'm so excited. This is a Slytherin Quidditch sweatshirt. I wish, oh my god, this is the stupidest thing that I could literally ever say, but I kind of wish that we could have gotten a name embroidered on the back, because how fucking sick would that be to have Slytherin Quidditch and have like Riddle on the back. Let people try and figure out if it's for Tom or Mateo. And then before we get into the actual packages, it wasn't in the bag, so I waited until now. But it is a Book Tropes sampler box of wax melts, which is so funny because this is also something that I got my sister for her birthday last year. And then when I opened this, my whole family was talking about how we were both talking about it for each other at the same time without knowing that we were each doing our, oh, it was hilarious. Obviously I've already opened it, but this is what it looks like. This is a list of the things that are included, and then it was closed with this little sticker, and then under this is all, oh my god, is all of the wax melts. So for example, this one is Book Boyfriend, which is Oak Moss, Sandalwood, and Morley Gray. And this one is Mates, which is Lemon, Rainwater, and Forever. I think I'm going to do the thrift books packages first, especially because a few of them came damaged. Oh, this is The Wicked King by Holly Black. I've been on a really big kick for trying to get the rest of the series for the rest of the books for some series that I only own a couple of the books for, which I think was the majority of this order. Let's do this one, which, can you see? It's so ripped. It's so ripped. Next is, Beautiful Chaos by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. This is the third book to the Beautiful Creatures. Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. This is the second book to the Darkest Minds series. And then last is, In the Afterlight. The only drawback of, at least in my opinion, of getting books from thrift books is you never know if the covers will match. Oh my god, this one is so funny. This is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this is hilarious because this book is Daisy Jones and the Six. by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And then Beautiful Redemption, which is another Beautiful Creatures book, which is the last one actually. So I just need the blue one, which is the second one, which is Beautiful Darkness. And then The Darkest Mind. So we have the first one, which should be the last one of this. So see, if this would have matched in the afterlight, then I would have kept this. This is Broken Throne by Victoria Aveyard. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is Warstorm, which is the last book to the series. And then Through the Dark by Alexandra Bracken. I don't know. Oh, it's a Darkest Minds collection. And then Beautiful Darkness, which is the second book to the Beautiful Creatures series, which rounds out all my packages from thrift books and leaves book of the month, which, funny little fact, I don't know when she did this. It must have been while I was sleeping, but Junie got into the corner of this. It looks like the books in the box are fine, thankfully, but I have no idea when she did that. I've started opening my book of the month boxes from the bottom because I forget about the bookmark a lot of the time actually. So we'll start with the bookmark, which says pause for dramatic effect. So I think there are 5 books. I think there are 5. The first is The Spectacular by Fiona Davis. The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I also will definitely be starting some Book of the Month vlogs that I think I'm going to be calling Book of the Moment, because I have entirely too many of these Book of the Month books and I've never read them, and I've had the subscription since high school. The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. There are 5. Oh, Clytemnestra by Costanza Casati. And A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I think this was my actual book of the month. I've been trying to branch out into new genres, even though YA is my home. So that is the entire haul of books, bags, merch, whatever, all the things. And now I have to take Junie OUT to go POTTY and put all these books back. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for staying. I bet it was fun to watch as it got darker in here as the sun went down. If you liked this video, like it or subscribe. That would be really fun, really cool. I'd be so grateful. And maybe check out a few other videos. That being said, thank you so much for watching. Te aprecio mucho y mi corazón es tuyo para siempre. Adiós.